Hello and welcome to Songs for the Struggling Artist, the blogcast. This is episode 216. I am speaking to you from an apartment with no internet. So, hopefully this blog will go out tonight. I'm trying to figure out if there's another way to get internet in this day and age when every place is like closed inside. Right? Like, what do you do? I don't know. We're going to find out. So, our internet went down at 11:45 last night or somewhere around in there. And they're like, oh, yeah, there's an outage in your area. What is that? Is it like a power outage, but for internet? I've never heard of it before. And what's funny is I'm currently trying to post a blog about the power outage that I experienced a few weeks ago. So it just feels all very, very fascinating. And I am working on appreciating these things of modern life, especially when they go away. Though I would appreciate them not having to go away for me to appreciate them. That would be my preference. I really was like in the middle of appreciating the internet when it disappeared. So it's not about me, is what that means. It's not like some like magical like, oh, you did not appreciate the internet enough, so we will take it away from you for 24 hours at least. Anyway. So, today's blog is about being a genius. So I'm going to read it to you in just a moment. No, I'm going to read it to you right now. Here it is. It's called I Am a Genius. Does it make you uncomfortable when I say I'm a genius? I can see why it might. Women aren't supposed to be geniuses, for one thing, and they should be modest as well. So even if women could be geniuses, they shouldn't go around declaring themselves such. We learn very quickly that we should hide our intelligence, that we should be quiet about what we're good at, and that we are never going to be seen as brilliant. Because being brilliant and being a genius is for boys. Think that's all in the past? Well, you'd be thinking wrong. Forbes just published a piece about a study that shows that there is an unconscious bias in both men and women that associates men with things like genius and brilliance and not women. Forbes declares that women tend to not apply for jobs that list a brilliant mind as a qualification. Their solution? Stop putting brilliant mind as a qualification. That's one way. Another way that I see is to purposefully cultivate an immodest attitude of brilliance. To practice calling girls brilliant and genius. Changing the language on job listings is only a change in semantics. Changing how we talk about the brilliance, the genius of women and girls is another. The culture we've been swimming in loves a genius. We are a culture that believes in genius and will excuse all sorts of bad behavior when a genius does it. Picasso. What a genius. It doesn't matter that he abused the women in his life, neglected his children, and made a 17-year-old girl his lover when he was 45. The genius effect is powerful and will overshadow any wrongdoing. Here's Picasso's granddaughter describing his genius. His brilliant oeuvre demanded human sacrifices. He drove everyone who got near him to despair and engulfed them. No one in my family ever managed to escape from the stranglehold of this genius. He needed blood to sign each of his paintings. My father's blood, my brother's, my mother's, my grandmother's, and mine. He needed the blood of those who loved him, people who thought they loved a human being, whereas they really loved Picasso. And here she is describing his relationships with women. He submitted them to his animal sexuality, tamed them, bewitched them, ingested them, and crushed them onto his canvas. After he had spent many nights extracting their essence, once they were bled dry, he would dispose of them. Nice genius right there. That's genius built on the blood of women. That's not just a really sharp, smart, cool artist. He was that, sure. I like his artwork very much. But he was pretty awful to the people around him. We excuse it, though, because of that genius effect. But no matter how brilliant a woman may be, no matter how prolific and original, it is highly unlikely that she will be called a genius or even brilliant. And if she made even the smallest of errors, she will be pilloried for it. There's no genius effect for her. I am so incredibly tired of this and have made it my practice to call myself a genius and to tell myself I'm brilliant at every opportunity. When a silly video game calls me a genius after I string together a long line of dots, I say to it, "Thank you, I know." Sometimes I don't even say thank you. Because of course my genius is obvious and I don't have to be polite about it. Is this immodest? Yep. I'm done waiting for the world to recognize my genius. If the orange dumpster fire in chief can call himself a very stable genius, there is literally no reason in the world I should not declare my own genius. I may not be as brilliant as Einstein, but I am for sure more brilliant than the fascist meme machine in charge. He got pretty far by declaring himself a genius. Can I do worse? But most importantly, I am trying to normalize women being seen as geniuses, as brilliant. I want the next generation of girls to know they are brilliant and geniuses and to apply for and get all the jobs for brilliant minds out there. By the way, what are these jobs? I've never seen a job listing that asked for a brilliant mind. Ever. Was it because I was looking at theater and education listings? No one would ask for a brilliant mind in those fields, I don't think. Not the way they're currently administered. A brilliant mind would only make trouble. As I often did. Anyway, I'm a brilliant genius. I hope you'll agree. And make it a practice to call other women and girls geniuses, too. Start your practice with me if you want, because I will for sure accept it. If you call me a genius, I will say, "Thank you, I know." Just like I say to my game. And then you can move on to your next genius, who may have been taught to be modest and deny it. They may be embarrassed and uncomfortable to hear it, but call them a genius anyway. One day it will stick. The only reason I got comfortable calling myself a genius is that I have a handful of people who have called me brilliant, who have called me a genius. It didn't come from nowhere. You can help me spread it. So you would have thought that after practically begging for it, I would have received many a message or post about my brilliance and my genius. But it doesn't work like that. It turns out if you say you're a genius, nobody's like, "I agree." Which is, I guess, why people don't do it. But I did see one of my friends and patrons on Patreon. She just did a random Facebook post about something, but she called someone, a woman she knows, a genius in that post. And I thought, aha, did she read my post? Is that because of me? It could very well have had nothing to do with me, but I wondered if it did and was pleased regardless. Yeah, it just, just whenever you can, call someone a genius. I know it means that the word becomes less meaningful, but it already has become less meaningful. I mean, my stupid game calls me a genius. It's meaningless. So make it meaningful and use it as much as you like. That's what I think. So the song for today is a song by a group called Soul Coughing, who some of you may know. I was a big fan in their time. They are a band no more. They disbanded. I don't know when, but in the 90s they were super fun. And this song is called Super Genius, and I like it. It's not one of my favorites of theirs for sure, but I like it because it has a sense. I feel like they're talking about a woman when they call the person a genius, and I really appreciate that. I feel like the person they're singing to is a brilliant woman, and they are calling her a super genius, and I like that a lot. So that is why I decided to do this song. It is really, like, the good thing about the song is the wacky, like, instrumental stuff, and I cannot do any of that. So it's just me singing it with my guitar. There's many examples of these that are the real guts of the song or in the like orchestration or the arrangement or whatever, which I am just not able to do under the circumstances. But yeah, if you like the song, give it a listen by Actual Soul Coughing. It has its delightful little musical quirks that are enjoyable to me. And then the rest of the album is also very cool. Very Gen X, for those of you who are with me in my obsession with Gen X things. So what's also funny is that I've been working on this song for like a week or maybe a little bit more. I don't know exactly. But I realized, today, I think that the song that I'm about to put up on the Dragoning feed is also about genius. It's one that I wrote as a thank you to one of our donors. So I could have put that song here, but I'd already worked on Super Genius for a week, so I was like, no, it's just going to be a genius themed week here in my podcast making world. So if you want to hear an original song about genius stuff with a dragon lens, check out the Dragoning, and that episode will be up. It's going to be an episode of Dragon City Radio, which will be up along with this one as soon as I can get the internet. So if you haven't listened to the Dragoning, do listen to it from the beginning also, because it is a narrative and it does add up. But you can listen to Dragon City Radio in any old order, because that's just like bonus stuff. So if you feel like you just want to listen to like 5 minutes, that's the way to start. So it's Genius Week here in Emily Davis land, and I hope you will enjoy. If you like the podcast, please tell someone. Thank you if you have told someone. It's very awesome. Also, if you'd like to support the podcast with your dollar bills or whatever currency you have, apparently on Patreon now, they have a thing where you can pay in your own currency. So do that if you'd like to. It is patreon.com/Emily R. Davis. You can also shoot me dollar bills and whatever other currency on PayPal and Ko-fi. All those links are in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening. And without too much further ado, I give to you Soul Coughing's Super Genius. Something I can't comprehend, something so complex and couched in its equation, so dense that light cannot escape from. In the dark your brain glows, and it goes way away, way away out. I know you're a super genius, I know you're a super genius. Will you shoot the blue earth down in the space station, polishing the ray gun? You say correlation is not causation. In the dark your brain glows, and it goes way away, way away out. I know you're a super genius. I know you're a super genius. I know you're a super genius, babe. I know you're a super genius, babe. I know you're a super genius. Scoom diddly diddly oddy ho. Scoom diddly diddly oddy ho. Scoom diddly oddy ho. Ra da 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 da. Scoom diddly diddly oddy ho. Scoom diddly diddly oddy ho. Scoom diddly oddy ho. Ra da 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 da. Ra da 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 da. Ra da 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 da.